The Opposite Effect, Part 3 of 3, by Gawain Gnosta. I drove home and proceeded to get drunk. Initially, I began to feel a bit better. Not much, but a little. I realized how asinine it was to go to Nutsfart's office. I could have just left work. I might have received a lecture about leaving earlier. Shit. I could have said I wasn't feeling well. I could have done many different things that I didn't do. Unfortunately, after knocking back drinks for a few hours, with Mozart playing in the background, I experienced an emotion that is usually alien to me: loneliness. I was most often content to be alone, without ever feeling lonely. But that day wasn't a usual day, nothing normal about it at all. I realized that was why I missed Ahmed at the liquor store. More than what could be normal for me. I don't have any friends, and Ahmed is actually the closest thing to a friend that I have. Sure, we use each other. I him for booze, he me for profit. But it goes beyond that, I think. Not much, but some. I was having a bad day and I needed some sort of social contact. Some interaction with another human that I trusted to a certain level might just be there for me. Well, he wasn't there, but I still felt the need. It was highly unusual for me to need another person on an emotional level. I thought of Tina. If you asked her, we were an item, and I was her boyfriend. If you asked me, we were nothing, and she was a girl I tolerated about once a week or so in order to get laid. Fuck, I can't do that tonight. I'm not interested in seeing her at all. I pondered it more. Who could I talk to without thinking negatively of? I mentally shifted through all my known acquaintances. I stopped briefly on Alice, but kept going, listing anyone that might be available to just hang out with, mentally assorting pros and cons of each individual. Maybe there were a few clients, but not tonight. I could tolerate them, but could they tolerate me? And came back to Alice. I guess she's the only one. On my drunken drive over to her house, I cared little for getting pulled over, even after I hit a trash can, and the damage I could do to a living person didn't even cross my mind. It was about a 10-mile drive. I tried to stay within the speed limits, and I also tried to stay in my lane, mostly successfully. I almost drove past her house, and instead of braking normally and turning around, I veered sharply right, slamming on the brakes and colliding with her mailbox. As the wooden mailbox shattered, I didn't see any mail, so she must have already gotten it. I did fall over as I got out of the car, but with minimal injury. I hope that she hadn't heard me tear through her mailbox. Fuck, I hope she doesn't see this shit tomorrow, or I won't have a friend tonight. Alice, by the way, is my ex-wife and mother of my 2 children, Peter and Polly. She answers almost immediately after I knocked. In order not to think of the mailbox or have her see it, I pushed past her quickly, thinking, I'm drunk. I figured she would notice that soon enough anyway. Okay, thanks for sharing, she replied. I heard her voice a lot, but rarely thought of it most of the time when I did. Soft, warm, feminine. Her voice from days past, even if her body wasn't. Jack, you can't just push your way into my house. I did that so you wouldn't notice I broke your mailbox. Fuck, Jack, you idiot. Stop thinking. Yes, I saw that when I looked out the window right after it happened, Jack. What's wrong? It was just like Alice not to get mad at me, initially, anyhow, but to see if I was okay. The whole world is wrong, I stammered out. Fucking everything. She stood there, waiting for me to elaborate, I suppose. As she did, I noticed her body. I assume I noticed it before, but I really noticed it at that moment. When she gave birth to Peter, she lost most of her pregnancy weight. But when she gave birth to Polly, she lost little. Now it seems she packs on a couple extra pounds every year. Time stops for no one, and the years continue to go by. The pounds of excess weight might accumulate. Jesus, you've gotten fat. I'm too drunk to control my thinking at all. I resign myself to whatever would be. Thank you, Jack. You aren't looking so healthy yourself. She waddled over toward the kitchen. Would you like a cup of coffee or water before you leave? Got any beer? Coffee or water? Coffee. Be right back. When she came back, she put her hand on my knee and she set the coffee on the aptly named coffee table in the living room. The kids aren't here, and honestly, you never show up unannounced to see them. You rarely take them for your weekends. What's wrong? Everything. Can you be more specific? I then did something I hadn't done in years, hadn't even thought myself capable of doing any longer. I cried. I cried for myself, I cried for my misfortune, I cried for losing my job, I cried in anger, I cried in pain, I cried in confusion, I cried for the gay guy, and even Janet and Nerdboy. I fucking cried. After several minutes, Alice held me, running her hands through my hair, telling me everything would be okay. She was always so damn nice and understanding, and I was always a selfish prick. After that, I told her everything that had happened to me earlier in the day. I started with Super Bitch and ended with destroying her mailbox. When I finished, Alice sighed and then spoke. Why are you so immature? Super Bitch? Nuts fart? Jack, these are things a teenager might find funny, not someone in his 30s. They're my inner thoughts, things that others aren't supposed to know, things no one is supposed to know. It could be worse, right? I could think much worse things, and some people do. I don't want to children, smear animal feces all over myself in the shower, right? I don't fantasize about people. I'm just me. I can't help it. I think things. Jack, she said then. Paused a few seconds. The homosexual, I think you empathize with him because you need empathy. You aren't as big and strong, as powerful as you think, or you thought. You can be hurt. You need human contact, even if you think you don't. Yeah, maybe. Who gives a fuck about that part, I thought. People can read my thoughts. Jack, it's just psychological. It's impossible to read people's thoughts. It's physically impossible. Sure, I absolutely believe that some people are more intuitive than others, but no one can read anyone else's thoughts. Maybe you just feel guilty for being so selfish for so long. That's ridiculous, I thought, knowing I didn't open my mouth. Is it? Yes, right now I am thinking, not speaking. I can feel that my mouth is closed. You are hearing my thoughts. That doesn't seem odd to you? Jack, your lips are moving. She was staring me dead in the face. Fuck. Maybe I am going crazy. Am I actually saying all this shit? Why would I call a stranger a f***? Why did you throw the letter opener at your boss? Did you just think that you did that? No, I lost my temper. I know I did that. Maybe you also, on some level, know that you've spoken all those things you believe were only in your mind today. I clenched my teeth together. Using every facial muscle I had, I pushed my lips together. Am I speaking now? Yes, Jack, I hear you, and I see you. This can't be real. None of this can be real. I'm going insane. That has to be it. That's the only answer. You've had a long day. Why don't you stay here tonight, baby? The kids are gone. Maybe you'll feel better in the morning. Her look of concern remained, but the smile deepened into something more. It looked a whole lot like lust. That was her I want to fuck smile that I hadn't seen in years. Baby. You haven't called me baby in years. Maybe that's the reason for this. It's possible you feel guilty about how we left things, right? Maybe we should get back together, for a trial period at least. You're so fat, I'm not sexually attracted to you. I thought, shit, damn it. Jack, you are a fucking asshole. Did you hear that? There it was, the hurt I had seen on other faces that day, the pain I caused everyone. Yes, Jack, I heard that because you said it. You certainly know how to charm a lady, don't you? I'm sorry. Why are you this way? What the fuck is wrong with you? Even if you believe you're only thinking these things, why do you think them? Alice, I'm so very sorry. I do love you. I'm sorry. You have to believe I'm only thinking all this. I'm not speaking. I know I'm not. Okay, fine, Jack. You only think I'm overweight to be with. That hurts much less knowing you only think it. Is that what you want to hear? Silence bounded aggressively into the room, then settled down for a time. Alice's eyes started tearing up. I was actually thinking that I didn't even know what to think anymore. It was all too much. All of it. Too much. Then, because my day was destined to be shit, there was a knock on the door. Alice's expression became one of startlement momentarily, until she briefly made eye contact with me, then went to the door. Who is it? The police, ma'am. Open the door. Fuck. Hold on, she said quite loudly to those on the other side of the door. Then she turned to me and whispered, go to bed. I'll tell them that I did it, okay? I hit the mailbox. But you have to promise me that you didn't hurt anyone on the way over here, okay? I hit a garbage can. I'm pretty sure that's all. I said these things only into my head. Okay, please, Jack, go to bed. I'll take care. No, I'm pretty sure that Nutsfart called the cops. I'm sure I'm wanted on assault charges, too. No, I'll turn myself in tomorrow, but I want the rest of tonight. Jack, I'm sorry, Alice. As I climbed the back fence, I wondered why I wanted the rest of the night. What will I do? I have no car. It's getting a bit cold out. Why not go to jail now? Why not take up Alice on her offer? I didn't know why. I'm not as young as I used to be, and I had a bit of difficulty scaling the fence. As I jumped down on the other side, a light suddenly illuminated the entire backyard. Motion sensor. Shit. Doesn't matter. They're often tripped by leaves blowing in the wind or a stray cat. I should be fine. It wasn't. A dog started barking, somewhere in the interior of the house, and by the sound of the barks, it wasn't a small dog. Then a back porch light came on. An elderly woman, dressed in what I can only describe as a flowery muumuu, came out onto the back porch, luckily minus a vicious dog. But as I surmised moments later, the dog might have been better, because clenched in her hands was a shotgun. Just fucking great. Who's there? You! She caught sight of me, frozen like a deer in the headlights. What are you doing? I'm just trying to cut through your backyard. I'm sorry. I stood up and began walking toward her. Not another move, Buster. I'm Annie Oakley with this here gun. I stopped and raised my arms. She was about 30 feet away. I'm very sorry. I was just trying to cut through your yard, not bother you. I only thought these things. You trying to rob me? No, ma'am. I was just trying to get through. I'm sorry, I'll go back. You wait right there until I call the police. No. She seemed to suddenly change her mind. Come a little closer. I did as she asked, within 10 feet of her. I'll just go, okay? No harm. You son of a bitch. Are you here to me? Shit, you wish, you old bat. I then noticed one of her gnarled arthritic hands. She had a finger on the trigger and it was shaking a little too much for comfort, with the barrel of the shotgun less than 10 feet from me, pointed directly center mass, right in the middle of my chest. I'm goddamn Calamity Jane with this shotgun, mister, and I got an itchy finger. This is getting redundant. You don't even have to call the police. They are right behind me at your neighbor's house. You here to boy? Are you fucking I said it aloud this time, another term that this modern world is too PC for. How many things am I here for? Who would want to you anyway? Does it look like I'm into necrophilia? Would I rape you first or you first? Honestly, fuck. The order wouldn't even matter. Whichever was first, the would probably feel the same. She was a bit old. I don't like a smart aleck. Are you back-talking me? Jesus Christ, what century is this, you old bitch? All within a few moments, I was scared for my life, then angry with the entire world. Most specifically, the woman with the shotgun pointed at me. And finally, I just started feeling empty, void of emotion. It was then I saw it, an anger burning within her. There was no sadness, no pain that I had seen in others that day. There was a hatred, a complete and utter hatred of me. I'm sure it took years to become this. She was so ancient, probably lost in today's world, and it didn't look like she was the sort of person who had anyone in her life. Not just a lover, absolutely anyone. No one wanted to deal with her shit, and she was probably confused as hell at this brave new world that she didn't understand. Life had kept her too long, and she was like an animal in a strange cage that she despised. At that moment in time, the intruder into her backyard represented that cage. Is this what I will become, I thought? Am I heading in this direction now with my attitude, with my life? I don't want to end my days standing here in a muumuu with a shotgun. Fuck that noise. I thought of myself. I was pretty tired of life, I realized. If I had more time to think, I might have come to the conclusion that I would get over that. Maybe even the next day. I was exhausted. The alcohol was wearing off quickly with all the coffee and water I consumed at Alice's, and the time that had gone by while I was there. Of course, having a shotgun pointed at me might have somewhat rushed the sobriety. I'm warning you, mister. I'm going to call the cops. They ain't got a liking for your type. Her whole body was shaking now, maybe slightly from the cold. I think it was mostly from what she was trying to talk herself into doing. You want to kill me? You're looking for an excuse, I thought. I'm going to call the police, Buster Boy, she said, but then physically didn't make a move toward doing so. I figured I'd give her a hand. If you're going to call the cops, you would have. Now go ahead and shoot me, you crazy old I'll shoot you, mister, I will. She began to tremble even more than previously. If you don't shoot me right now, I will you, rob you, you, then your fucking dog. And she obliged. Even the entire backyard soaking in artificial light. The light that erupted from the barrel of the shotgun was bright. The blast that tore a gigantic hole through the relative quiet of the evening was absolutely deafening. Hey guys, thanks for watching. This one's over now. Done. Appreciate you watching it. Bye.